All right, so this is an exercise that's going to help you coordinate both your fret and picking hand. It's going to also keep your picking hand tighter. It's going to keep it on point. This is going to show you alternate picking. And I'm also going to, since you're going to use all 4 fingers every single time, you're going to be strengthening all of your fingers where nothing gets left out. So this is a simple exercise just to get you used to the idea of playing through scales and finger coordination. So that way down the line, it helps you more easily adapt to playing certain things, and it helps you more easily get your fingers into position and get them used to moving around the fretboard. So how we're going to start this off is you're going to start off with your first 4 frets and your first 4 fingers. So you're going to go fingers 1 through 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to be picking down, up, down, up. So each string you're going to go down, up, down, up. So down, up, 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 down, up. So when you want to do the turnaround of this riff, you're actually going to use that up pick as the start just to go backwards. So for example, so down, up, 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 down. Example 1, down, up, 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 down, then the other way you can do that is you can reverse it. So you can play it up, down, to start with. So up, down, 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 up, down. And then when you roll that one around, since you're starting on that down, up, 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 down, up. So that's just so you get used to up, having to play up and down and up, and so you get used to going down, up, and moving strings, or if you have to go start with an up pick. So it just gets you used to that all around, and it's definitely a useful tool. So one exercise you can do is you can start off with your down, up, down. And then you end on that down. So then I would go to your next fret, 2, and since you hit it down here, hit it up on the 2 and start with up. So when you come down, just if you start with the 1 and work your way up to the 2, start with down, and basically just do that all the way up to the 12th fret. Then go ahead and you can go ahead and call it a day on that. But I would say, practice that about once a day. Just do your stretching exercises, play some open chords, play that chromatic scale run, and that'll be your warm-up period, and then you can try to do some other exercises and rudiments as well. But this is something that you can learn at any stage, beginner or professional. It's just something that if you've never taken the time to seriously coordinate your picking and your fret hand, you haven't synced them up. And it's more common than people probably think. There are a lot of people who can play certain things well, but when it comes to certain staccato picking or scale runs or just simply coordinating when they're running down the fretboard, these two hands, sometimes there's a lot of sloppiness because they never took the time to actually learn and sync this. So this is where we're going to actually use a metronome to give an example. So here we have just a standard metronome. You can get a metronome like this online. You can also use a phone app. Phone apps, I'm sure there's 100 free phone apps out there, but I'm just going to use this since I have it in front of me. So, pretty simple. It just keeps time. So, something like this is really beneficial to practice too, because say we start with that exercise. So we go. So that's pretty simple, and obviously in the beginning you definitely want to start off slow, and doing anything to try to build it to perfection is best started off slow. So with these, obviously you can set the tempo up faster and say you wanted to go at like 120 BPM. And you can set it up even faster. When you get to a point where you can play it comfortably, and that's it. The trick is just to stay on top of it. So as you can see, a metronome is a beneficial tool for any guitarist, regardless of if you've been playing for 50 minutes or 50 years. Anybody who has never played to a metronome or to a click track might have a little bit harder of a time trying to adapt unless they've just somehow been lucky enough throughout their entire life to find the perfect drummer. But that's hard to find. So if you want to be able to adapt to any musical situation, timing is your best friend, and a metronome helps keep you in time. And we can go more into the music theory side of how things like that work in a different video, but for now, just hearing the clicks and matching them up, that's simply where you're trying to get at. But that will always help you. Metronomes always help. They are always your friend, especially if you get to a point where you're in a band and you record. If you can record to a click track, great, because that's a thing that's definitely going to make your life a ton easier further down the line in your musical career. So again, I hope this has been helpful, and we're going to go ahead and move on with our next lesson.